Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Floyd Humphreys at floydhumphreys.com. And today, I want to talk a little bit about products. And there are people who are of the opinion that the products don't matter. And that is that the compensation plan is so good that you could make a lot of money if the products were just rocks. That is, if you get 5 people that get 5 people, as long as everybody buys every month, products can be rocks and it'll still work. Well, that might work with an illegal pyramid program, but with network marketing, that's not the case. So, one of the best ways, and probably the best way, certainly the easiest and cheapest, is to focus on the products. Now, if a mechanic found some penetrating oil that was so good that you could put it on the front bumper, and in 30 seconds it was on the back bumper of a truck, he'd be so damn excited. He'd say, there's never been a product like this ever in the whole world. This is the best thing ever. And he'd be extremely excited about that product. I don't know if that was a very good example or not, but thing is, when I started taking CBD oil, I didn't have any idea what it was going to do for me, if anything. And so I just had discovered that the human body, like all mammals, has built-in CBD receptors, and so that means that we were designed to take CBD, and so if we weren't taking CBD, then we weren't as healthy as we could be. And I read about homeostasis and all that stuff, and so I decided to give it a try. And so I took it for a couple of months, and I don't know, I didn't notice so much, really, until I read an article that said that it was helping people to sleep, and I was taking sleeping pills to sleep, and every night, practically, if I couldn't go to sleep, I'd take a pill. And so I realized that I hadn't been taking my pills, and that's because I wasn't having any trouble going to sleep. So I really started paying attention, and I haven't taken a sleeping pill now in over 2 years. Now, the other thing I noticed, I was born crippled and got a degenerative bone disease, and so it has little issues here and there that go along with it. And one of them is that whenever I'd put my socks on in the morning or take them off at night, I'd get a Charlie horse. And they hurt. And of course the pain was really stabbing and only lasted for a second, but it was painful. Well, I haven't had a Charlie horse in over 2 years either. So those two things right there, for me, justify taking CBD oil every day. And so I don't know if it'll do that for you or not. I know that every body is different. There's a thing called homeostasis, and so homeostasis is when all of the machinery of your body is working correctly and with each other the way they're supposed to. If something gets out of whack sometimes, then you're not in homeostasis, and so that's one of the things that I've read that CBD really helps with. Well, anyway, the point being that now I'm going to take CBD oil forever. And the reason I'm going to is because I don't want Charlie horses, and I don't want to have to take a pill to sleep. So both of those, even just one of those, justifies my taking CBD oil for the rest of my life. I mean, CBD oil is not a drug, and it doesn't have any side effects, and it does other things that are good for me too. Some of which I'm sure I have no idea what they even are. But anyway, so that makes me a customer, and it makes me a lifetime customer. So when I talk to somebody else, and I'm not a doctor, so I can't prescribe anything, or I can't tell anybody that CBD will cure anything, but I can say what it did for me, and whether it'll do it for you, I don't know, but I do know that the company has a 60-day money-back guarantee unconditionally on all of their products. So if you take it and you're not satisfied, well, you just get your money back, and you got 2 months to make that decision. So it's not possible to lose. I mean, you give it a try, and if it doesn't work, you get your money back. And of course, all CBD isn't the same. I've talked to people that, say that they've tried CBD and it didn't work. And the funny thing is when My Daily Choice added the HempWorks line, that is CBD products, it took off like a rocket. And I mean, it was an explosion. And people all over the world noticed. And what happens is that people tried it and it worked. And so it just created a massive demand. And so everybody wanted to get in on the CBD wagon. So a lot of people, they just said, well, we're going to market CBD, and they did, but what they called CBD wasn't even CBD. And for instance, hemp seeds, which, if you go to the grocery store and you see a bottle that says hemp oil, it doesn't have any CBD in it at all. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. So, somebody could take that and not receive any benefit and say, well, gee, that stuff didn't work. Well, it wasn't CBD oil. It was hemp oil. And so there's a difference if it comes from the seed or if it comes from the plant. And then there's other things to consider too, even if it does come from the plant, and that is it the full spectrum? Does it have everything in it that the plant has in it? And even there's also broad spectrum, which has everything except for the THC for those people that have to take drug tests or something like that, and they don't want any THC at all in their system. But anyway, so you can buy CBD at the gas station. I mean, so many people decided they wanted to get in on it and make a lot of money, and they did because, you buy a bottle of CBD at the gas station and it's just colored water, and it doesn't do anything for you, but you paid $20 for it, or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 80 or more, and then you can't remember where you bought it, and even if you do, you don't have the receipt, and it doesn't work, and you just forget about it. You just say, well, I'm never going to use that anymore. And so you don't even know what brand it was. All you know is that you tried something you thought was CBD, but it didn't work. Millions of people have done that, bought fake CBD oil. So in order to decide if it's going to work, it has to be the real deal. And so My Daily Choice, HempWorks, has a lot number on every bottle. And you can look up online, and they've got all of their statistics of all of their batches, and you can look up your lot number, and you can read the lab analysis of that particular batch, and you can know exactly what's in it. And I don't know of any other company that does that. I mean, when you buy HempWorks CBD, you're getting what you pay for. So anyhow, the point is, I'm excited about the product. And so when I tell people about it, there's absolutely no reason for them not to try it if they've got any kind of thing that it might help. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't help. And if it doesn't, they just get their money back, and that's no big deal. But the thing about it is it does work. And so very few people get their money back. I've sponsored hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I can count on one hand the people that have got their money back out of all those people. So, it works. So what happens is when somebody gets a benefit from using it, then they're sold. And that's it. And they become a customer for life. Now, being a customer for life is good because, you get paid commissions on all these people that are customers for life. But some of those people will bring in other distributors. And when they do, well, then you make money on those people too. So when people talk about the product, it's solid and it's secure. If you just talk about the marketing plan or the compensation plan, there's a lot of people that maybe don't even understand how it works, and it takes a little bit of, looking at to understand how it works. It's not the simplest compensation plan there is, but the thing is, if you just concentrate on the product, they don't need to know. All they need to know is it works. And they know that it works because they have a personal testimony that it works. They tried it and it works. So they can do the same thing that I did. They can say, well, this is what it did for me, and it might do that for you. And if it doesn't, get your money back. So what happens is if you just keep recommending the product, over a period of time, you develop a network of customers, some of which are active affiliates that sponsor other people, and because they want to build themselves some residual income also. So what happens is, you can do this part-time, you can do this, you can work an hour a month if you want, you can work an hour a year. But what happens is, of course, the more you work, the more people you're going to recruit, and the more people you're going to find as customers. And so the thing is that I've got several hundred people in my downline. If they each only work 1 hour a day, I'm getting paid on several hundred hours a day. Well, that's what you call leverage. And that's why it is that network marketing is so successful. I mean, there's people that don't know how to do it or are not patient. In fact, a lot of people, they go out and they sponsor a few people, and they're not rich by Friday, and so they say, well, this doesn't work, and so they quit. Then I never hear from them again. But, then pretty soon I start getting these residual checks, and I look at the name, and then I don't recognize the name, so I look and see where that name came from. And it came from somebody that sponsored them 6 or 8 months ago and quit. And now this person is making me $200 or $300 a month. Well, so whoever sponsored them just gave up. They brought some good people in, and they're making me money, and they could have been making money if they would have stuck it out, but they quit because they wasn't patient. They was looking for a get-rich-quick scheme or something, and when they wasn't rich by Friday, then when Saturday rolled around, they quit. Well, it's not a get-rich-quick. It's a get-rich for sure. So, and how long it takes just depends on how hard you work. And I would say it's impossible to fail if you don't quit. And so, somebody can say, well, 95% of the people that try network marketing fail. Well, the thing you have to understand is that means that 95% of the people who tried it quit. And it was either because they didn't understand it, they didn't know how it worked, they didn't know how to find people, leads, they didn't have a system, and maybe nobody taught them. Maybe they were just abandoned and left to their own devices and didn't know what to do, and so they just said, I don't know what to do, I guess I won't do anything. And so that's the people who start don't intend to quit. So the reason they quit is mostly because they didn't know how to do it. And so that's one thing that, we have a lot of free training, a lot. And when you become an affiliate, I send out a newsletter, and there's a couple of people that have hundreds or even thousands of hours of really, really professional, top-notch videos. And these are people that have not only become millionaires themselves, but have also helped hundreds of other people to become millionaires also. And and they're free. This training is free. There's also a lot of training that's free in the back office. So anyway, that's the thing right there is it's different than a typical business that people are used to because it's using leverage and it's using the power of multiplication. And that is like if you double a penny for 31 days, 1 month, you'll have $10 million. But it starts out really small numbers, 1 cent, 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents, 16 cents. So, the first week you got $1, And so where the money comes in is at the end, when it goes 1 million, 2 million, 4 million, 8 million, like that. And so it takes time. And it's like building a house. You have to build the foundation first. So when people come in and they sponsor 5 or 6 people and then quit, they didn't even get done building their foundation. And then they thought that it should already have a roof on it. Well, no. You have to start with the foundation, and then you have to build the walls, and then you have to build the roof last. And so you can't just build the roof first, else what's going to hold it up? So, and that's the way it is. And so when people quit early, they just didn't wait long enough. Some people, I'm making money on people who, if the people, and I don't even know who they are now or how to get a hold of them or anything because they've quit and they're not in the computer anymore. And but what they don't realize is that they built a business that's making me money, and it could have been making them money too. And so anyway, I just wanted to talk about the product because I think that's really the best way to market. Now, I've spent thousands of dollars on Craigslist ads, and, I've tried different things. And but when you talk to someone and give them your personal testimony, that doesn't cost you any money. It's free. And so it just takes a minute. And but when you tell somebody something in person, you don't lie. I mean, that's one of the things that's gave network marketing a bad name is there's so many liars out there. They exaggerate what the products will do. They tell you it'll cure cancer, and it'll, if you cut your leg off, you can grow a new one or whatever. I mean, they just tell lies. And then when people realize they've been lied to, well, then they've been deceived, and of course they're not happy, and you can't blame them. And so it's gave the industry a bad name. People lying like that. And then they'll lie about the income opportunity too. You can make $1 million by Friday. Well, that's just bullshit. That's not going to happen. Your first check might be $10. It might be $2. And so it takes time to build it up. Now, you can have a strategy. If you bring people in and they come in as an executive and you make $200 on each one, and if you sponsor 5 your first month, there's your $1,000 your first month. So you don't have to just get a $2 check your first month. There are people that check is over $1,000 their first month. But it just depends on your strategy and how hard you work and how you do it. And I just wanted to point out that the product is the key. Because when you tell something to somebody from your heart, they believe you. And so And even if the product doesn't work, they can get their money back. So that's not a big deal. But it's not like if you go out there and run an ad on Craigslist and somebody, they don't know anything about it at all. They don't know anything about the product. They don't know anything about the compensation plan, and they're total strangers. They haven't talked to anybody at all. And but when you talk to somebody in person, you become their friend because you're trying to help them, and you're solving a problem, and so you're a problem solver, and so that's different than trying to sell somebody something. And so, I mean, it's like, when people don't want to talk to their families and friends and stuff like that, well, if your brother or sister or son or daughter or mother or father or uncle or cousin or whatever was an epileptic, and they've been having 100 seizures a month, and you tell them that you've seen on the internet where a couple of drops of CBD oil under the tongue will stop a seizure in seconds, and that they won't have 100 seizures anymore. In fact, they might never have another one, and maybe they'll only have one a month instead of 100 a month or whatever. But it's dramatic. It's life-changing. And so if you knew that and you kept that away from your family, well, then you would be a despicable idiot for not sharing that information. And so, that's the way you got to look at it. And if you're just out there trying to sell somebody something, nobody wants to be sold anything. Nobody wants to hear your shit about, you want to make some money or whatever. That's, nobody cares about that. But if you can help them solve a problem that they've got, they do care about that. And you've got their full attention. And you'll be their friend, and they'll thank you forever for solving that problem. So anyway, that's why I think that being product-oriented is the best strategy. And so this video's kind of went on kind of long, and so I'm going to stop. But I'm going to put a link under this video, and if you're not already on my team, then there's a link where you can take a free tour and get on my team, and I'll help you, and so will a lot of other people too. And your success is my success. So I hope you have a great day.